We are single and fabulous.
Absolutely.
Carrie, Miranda, Samantha, Charlotte, and Mr. Big are back on the single scene in 18 new episodes of HBO's hit comedy series, Sex and the City.
Nobody rebounds with the new Yankee.
Well, maybe on the new Carrie. I had never read a script about women that was so forthright and candid, and even if they weren't women that I necessarily related to, I was intrigued by them.
Sex and the City is executive produced by Darren Star, creator of the hit Fox TV shows Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place.
I wanted to do a show about sexuality and relationships, and especially from a female point of view.
He developed the series based on the popular New York Observer column by Candace Bushnell.
Well, I'd seen the column, Sex and the City, where the column sort of dealt with this sort of the social world of New York, but for me, it was a sort of a great launching point for a show about a woman who writes about relationships and sex lives of her friends and explores her own in the process. I think there's comedy in seeing women talk candidly about sex. I think you're used to seeing guys speak candidly about sex, but you're not used to women speaking candidly about men. Women in their 30s just put it on the table, and that's fun.
Women cheat.
Yeah, but it's completely different.
How?
Because we don't go around randomly attacking any man that we're attracted to.
Speak for yourself.
Sarah Jessica Parker stars as Carrie Bradshaw, a writer whose life in the New York singles scene is a source for material for her column Sex and the City.
Are we faking entire relationships? Is it better to fake it than to be alone?
I only slept with him twice. The first time I faked it because it was never going to happen, and the second time I had to fake it because I faked it the first time.
Oh, naturally.
And I didn't want to fake it again, so I just forgot to return his last call.
It's like being on the pitcher's mound when the coach comes out to talk to the pitcher. These women get together, they're talking about men. You always want to hear what that conversation is.
Why do men do this? I mean, how would they feel if we stood around in public touching ourselves?
They love it.
When people see it, they're almost shocked that some of these things are being talked about. I'm always talking about sex with friends. And, you know, and it's always in a sort of either rueful or excited way. But it's always a constant conversation in the human animal, I think.
It feels slightly naughty, and it also feels like perfectly legal and safe, and it's such salty dialogue, a lot of it, and it's really ribald, but they're also really smart women.
What are you saying, that a straight woman and a gay woman can't be friends?
Well, of course they can, but you can't expect to move to Wonder Woman's island and not go native.
Carrie, I think, was meant to beat this audience, and also a woman that New York City creates that's unique to this city. Why do we break up?
You tell me. You're the one who left me high and dry with 2 tickets to St. Bart's.
It's a small island, Manhattan, and who better to torture you than your ex-boyfriend?
Some hilarious things come out that are absolutely honest to God true.
Tell me you love it.
Oh. Most of my scenes are with Sarah, and we have great chemistry, and we click, even in terms of the inherent conflicts in the relationship.
He's a really great character. He's just a man, you know, he's such a man, and it's nice because there are so many pretty boys on the show, but it's nice to have a real guy, reserved and smart and distant and all those sort of things that are really man ideas, you know. And he's just great at doing it, great. So lucky to have him.
She's very sure of herself intellectually, but she has vulnerabilities, but I like the way she covers them. She's not afraid to be very blunt and nasty. The sex scenes, I think we're all getting kind of used to them. They were a little harrowing the first year for me, but I think for all of us, they were a little harrowing. But I have to say now, it is fun when you get your guy for your particular episode and doing the scene with him. That's fun because it's a new element.
Sex is not a time to chat. In fact, it's one of the few instances in my overly articulated, exceedingly verbal life where it is perfectly appropriate, if not preferable, to shut up.
I've never been a person who goes to parties all the time, but I think if you do go to parties all the time and openings and events, there is this big circle of people just you're constantly coming in contact with. I mean, the people that I know are single. Their complaint is always that there's a dearth of people to date out there, but I guess not if you're these ladies, not with another fabulous event every night.
Oh, I love Charlotte. I love that she's hopeful. Against all odds, she's hopeful. And I love that she has very high standards. You know, like, even though it doesn't work out time after time after time, she doesn't ever think, oh, well, maybe I should lower my standards. She just shoots high. I think that's great. This year, one of our girls gets involved with a guy who likes to talk dirty in bed, but she doesn't like to talk dirty in bed. And one day we're all discussing this at one of our lunches, and it turns out that Charlotte knows how to talk dirty in bed, which is just a shock. So she tries to give a lesson. Sometimes men just need to hear a little encouragement.
Such as?
You know, yes, stud, that's right, don't stop, just like that. That was very embarrassing. And I had to do it a lot of times. That was hard. The women that I know here, they don't have a different date every week. I mean, I think, you know, our show is, these women, they're busy, they're very busy. I don't know how they do it.
Yes. For all of us, the bottom line is, does it work? Is it truthful? Can you see this thing happening? And ultimately, is it funny? And does it make you laugh? Did you see that bulge?
He was wearing a cup.
Well, honey, his cup runneth over. It's really based in truth. And I think that it appeals to women because they're finally getting a voice on television. It's been a really long time since women have really had a chance to talk about their sexuality and their personal secrets and desires and phobias in an arena like this. I've never felt so protected as an actor. And I never feel that I'm doing anything to make me feel uncomfortable. And if it does strike a chord that is maybe not as truthful or makes me feel uneasy, we'll talk about it and we'll make a compromise. I always have to wear my shoes, the high heel shoes to me, because I just move differently in them. I can't do a scene in sneakers. You know, one of the operators was saying to me, Kim, you don't have to put on those tortuous shoes. You know, we're from here up. And I would say, no, I do. Because it's all about a certain way that I feel, the certain way that I walk, that my posture is, that is always Samantha, because she's always on. You know, she's always available, and it's always opening night, and it's always fabulous. So I don't feel that if I don't have these beautiful shoes on.
I think the show's always about how people really want to find someone to be with and the obstacles they encounter. And so many of those obstacles are self-imposed, and that's where a lot of our comedy comes from.
And I think women of all variety of sizes and shapes and, you know, religious backgrounds and color, I think just relate to all the different women for lots and lots of different reasons, and for very unobvious reasons and very obvious reasons. And I'm surprised endlessly when people stop me on the street and they tell me they're a fan of the show, from an older black woman to an Orthodox Jew. I mean, it runs the gamut, and it's really mind-blowing but thrilling. Hopefully, if it's so much fun for us to play, then it's equally fun for the audience to watch.
Sex and the City, the smash hit comedy series starring Sarah Jessica Parker.